In 1809, a frail little boy was born in a humble log cabin in the wilds of Kentucky, USA. From the moment he drew his first breath, fate seemed to have destined him to be bound to the desolate land beneath his feet. His future appeared to consist of endless woodchopping and farm work. Even having enough to eat was a struggle, and going to school was a distant dream. But this little boy was unwilling to accept mediocrity. There was a fire in his heart. Without a classroom, the forests and fields became his school. Without textbooks, he traveled to neighbors' homes to borrow books, even if it meant walking dozens of miles. He believed that only knowledge could be the axe to split his dark future. Yet even such ordinary days were not his to enjoy for long. At the age of 9, his mother was taken by an infectious disease, and the little boy tasted the bitterness of separation from a loved one too early. The burden of life weighed heavily on his thin shoulders. He worked as a boatman, a clerk, a mail carrier. He would do any job to survive. It was during this time that he witnessed the reality of America firsthand. Black people were bought and sold like livestock, their desperate eyes piercing his heart like a thorn. With a heart unwilling to be ordinary, he tried his hand at business, only to fail and fall into heavy debt. He then turned to politics, summoning the courage to run for state legislator, but failed again. Misfortune never comes singly around this time. His beloved fiancée suddenly passed away from illness. These successive tragedies plunged him into deep sorrow, but they did not break him. He picked himself up, working to support himself while studying diligently. He treated every setback as a chance to start anew, and eventually, he was successfully elected as a state legislator. The thorn in his heart finally had a chance to be pulled out. He said that a sinful system must be destroyed, for at that time, America was not yet a free and democratic country. The nation was torn apart by slavery, and the conflict between the North and the South was extremely sharp. The boy stepped forward, using his loud, morally powerful voice to call for national unity and equality. His passionate speeches thrust him into the spotlight and earned him the respect of many. In 1860, this boy, born into poverty and weathered by hardships, was elected president of the United States. However, what he faced was not glory, but the crisis of a nation on the verge of collapse. The people knew his views, so the news of his election was like lighting a powder keg. Many southern states that clung to slavery declared their secession from the Union, and thus the Civil War broke out. It was the darkest moment in American history, and as president, he bore an unprecedented burden. Amidst waves of doubt and opposition, he made an epoch-making decision. The 1st of January, 1863, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This was not just a military document. It solemnly declared that freedom, no longer a distant dream, was recognized at the legal level for the first time, becoming one of the most noble goals of this tragic war. It announced that in the rebellious states, all enslaved people shall be thenceforward, and forever free. This proclamation, like a thunderclap tearing through the darkness, fundamentally shook the foundation of slavery in the South, greatly boosting the morale of the North, and more importantly, ignited the flames of freedom in the hearts of millions of enslaved people. In 1685, after 4 years of civil war, the North emerged victorious, and the chains of slavery were shattered once and for all. Just as the light of peace was dawning, he was assassinated in a theater, becoming the first president in American history to be assassinated. This boy, who emerged from a rundown log cabin to become president of the United States, was named Abraham Lincoln. He etched the word freedom into the DNA of this nation with his life.